Verifiable uses WeaveChain to establish a verifiable AI data economy. Our framework establishes trust in the data used to train models and enables payments for licensed data. The explosion of AI has exacerbated the issues of fraud and data abuse that we can now solve. In a world of bots and misinformation, we have the power to authenticate sources and identities. As AI drives more complex decisions, we'll have an immutable lineage of what it was trained on. And when AI tries to learn from us, we will have an owner's right to say no or get compensated. The WeaveChain protocol establishes Web3 data with these properties, and we used it to build our verifiable framework. In our demo, our publisher will bulk upload notarized data and set fees for access. Wallets will be established for each author to receive compensation, and will also show through our UI how an independent author can license their work. The security magic of WeaveChain is that we can do things like notarize source data to prove its origin, anchor hashes to blockchains like Polygon to prove immutability, and use Merkle trees to enable checking if a piece of content is in the dataset. This makes it so that our sample model Blogger AI can pay license fees to train on verifiable data. Let's start with what it means to establish notarized source data. After our publisher prepares their environment, they'll run a compute task to download data using open source code that can be audited. WeaveChain creates hashes of the Docker image with a code running inside it and signs the hashes so that others can validate the output came from that code. Last note here, we took the liberty of creating custodial wallets for each author in the dataset. Next, we move on to setting fees for access, which WeaveChain makes as simple as an API call. We built a UI for Verifiable to showcase an end-user experience. Writers can come in and choose to submit content to a hungry trainer and enter their content knowing that they are licensing it with full control. Everything that the AI does with their data can be verified after the fact. The dataset that's available is hashed, and that hash is put into a smart contract on Polygon, creating an immutability anchor. We also create Merkle trees from every piece of content for inclusion checks, and the root hash of those trees is stored on-chain for immutability guarantees too. With this foundation, Blogger AI can pay to train on verifiable licensed data. We'll call a verifiable Docker task to train our model using the same pattern we saw earlier. Our Docker file runs a shell script that securely reads data via WeaveChain to feed the model. WeaveChain manages payments based on the fees we set earlier in a seamless way. The 400 USDC that were paid are split amongst the authors, and if we refresh our UI, we'll see that our solo author also got paid. And we can't just trust. Let's verify what happened. Our computational lineage also includes the root hash of the Merkle tree we created earlier, showing not just the data that was trained on, but the whole dataset available at the time. Authors can actively verify that content was used in the training of specific models. We check that the content hash matched a leaf of the tree, that the Merkle tree is valid, and that its root hash matches what is immutably stored on the blockchain. Our last cryptographic trick is to use locality-sensitive hashes to enable fuzzy matching. This makes it so that if you slightly adjust content by removing a few periods, for example, the locality-sensitive hashes would match even if the exact text does not. And we can build our Merkle tree for inclusion checks on those locality-sensitive hashes. We're thrilled by the framework we built during this hackathon, but we want to establish global standards for verifiable AI data economies. Next up is talking to more trainers and tuners because these techniques can apply to anything. On the tech, we don't think models will pay for everything thrown at them, and we'd love to build systems for programmatic filtering or manual reviews. Same for payments. We had multiple conversations around pay-on-use, and a quick shout out to Richard at Algavira for an awesome lead on retrieval augmented generation. Also, there's a lot of gnarliness to deal with around authenticating ownership and ensuring that what you own is actually a licensed original. Thanks to everybody who made AugmentHack happen. We loved this event.